times, but depending on where you are within a certain project, you know, it hits a little bit differently, but we were able to kind of navigate that a little bit more and socialize and network and learn and rest a little bit. So we're
I didn't pick rest. I didn't pick rest on Friday night. I think it was up till like 5 a.m.
Oh, wow. Were you one of the ones who went to the Latino club?
Yeah, on College Street or whatever.
Nice. Good for you.
Amazing.
It was long.
Yeah.
So I'm not, I mean, I'm a little bit of a night owl. I'm not a morning person, so it wasn't too bad other than getting up in the morning sucks.
Yeah.
But staying up late, I don't know why the song suddenly got louder. That's weird. I'm just going to turn that off because it's been annoying. Sorry about that.
All good.
It was Christmas music, you know, getting the spirit of it.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing. We did it before Expand, and then Expand happened, and we were kind of away from it. And then the snow kind of disappeared, and we're like, yeah, it's still Christmas. So anyways, got it on again. So, but we're still flying high.
Christmas song on Saturday night? Like, what was that about?
Yeah.
That one Christmas song? Come on.
Yeah. You gotta fix that.
Yes, I'll have to talk to Alfonso. Actually, I think my brother Steve's going on, Steve was on Alfonso's podcast. That's how they met. And then Alfonso's going on his podcast.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
We've
cool.
had the pleasure of being on Alfonso's podcast as well.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so speaking of podcasts, I assume that's why you guys are here.
Yes, sir.
Is it to start a podcast, be a guest on a podcast? What are you looking to do?
So a little bit of both. We have recorded our first podcast episode. We took the opportunity to do so while we were in Greece and talking about mindset and expansion and, putting things out there in the universe and just kind of starting. And we want to be on your podcast, and if you wanted to give a little bit of coaching about podcasting, we're always here to learn more, but mainly our goal was for exposure and to be on your podcast if that's a possibility.
100%. 100%. We love exposure, especially everything Wealth Genius, which was absolutely genius. I love what they're doing over there because we started 2 weeks before that.
Oh yeah.
So just Wealth Genius babies.
Yeah.
So
this was your first. This was your first Expand.
Yep.
Amazing.
Nice.
What did you think?
It was a lot of fun, actually. I bumped into a lot of clients that I have from other things, so which was pretty interesting.
Cool.
So it was interesting to see the same people in the same room. I'm like, oh, I already know you.
Yeah.
I'm in the right room.
Yeah. I mean, that was it. So I mean, for us, it's like we've grown our contact list. I turned this off. Why is this on? And it's phantom. Weird.
It's the ghost of Christmas present.
I mean, I've worked with these people in a bunch of other different ways, so it was really exciting to see them in another spot. So now we're starting to do different deals, like some different expansion to the United States, some acquisitions, some different sales stuff. A bunch of mortgages came from it. A bunch of people started their podcast or need help with their podcast. So yeah, so it was pretty awesome.
Good. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So as far as being a guest, I assume because you guys have your own podcast, but is your podcast been around for a bit?
No. We're very, very novice, so we're still just filling it out, learning to play with Opus Clip, learning about editing. All those things are like it's very, very like it's one of those podcasts where it's so new that we're hoping nobody really listens to it, so that we can just. Get
our feet wet.
Yeah, get our feet wet, build our confidence, learn the technology, and start. Because the idea is, sometimes you want to just do all the research and learn all the technical side of it and then start, but then you end up never starting. So we're kind of just plunging out there and deciding to do it while no one's listening. We'll figure things out, and then eventually as we improve our skills and kind of polish ourselves as interviewers, we'll hopefully by then there'll be people actually listening, and but in the meantime, you know what, it's really about those short clips. And that was my vision when we started. It was less about the quality of the full episode itself right now, and to focus on just having those fluid conversations, and then let Opus Clip narrow in on those clips that we can put on social media, because for us that's a way for us to start our branding in a novice kind of in a novice way, and just starting somewhere.
Figuring out along the way as well what we're more comfortable
That's
with
the
and who we actually are, right?
Mhm.
Because you can try to mold yourself into something, but until you do something and it looks great to other people, they're like, oh, you're that person that did this. All right, so this is where I'm being recognized. So now we're kind of finding ourselves, right? So,
And you know what? They'll see the authenticity between us because, you know, we're navigating it as we go. And I think people can recognize that as well.
Yes. Now, I tell every single person, do not have a persona.
Mm.
Because unless you're professionally trained to maintain that persona, it will break.
Yep.
And then you have because then it's incongruent, the feeling goes away. So anything that you gained is now lost.
Yeah.
So just be your authentic self. I mean, you guys have been in business for a long time. You guys are professionals. You know what you're doing. Just enjoy the conversation. And if you treat everything like, not like a client meeting, but you know, like those clients you've had for 5-10 years, where you can still talk business, but it feels really personal, really casual. That's the easiest way to approach it.
And that's the beauty in this conversation before hitting record too, is it allows us to build a little bit of a relationship and for us to get to know each other a little bit too, so that when we do hit record, you're like, oh, it's just my friend Michael.
That's it. So we do recommend the same thing for all our podcasters. We recommend the same thing. Do a strategy session first, and then do your recording.
Cool.
So when somebody comes into the recording, they're ready to record, they're ready to get going. You know, and you have that connection point. I mean, there has been a couple of times where we've had a few people where they get somebody on and they're like, and they're really like high caliber person. So it's for content. It's not really for clients or collaboration. It's just for content. And they're like, no, I only do recordings. I go straight into recordings. Okay. So you do a deep dive on them. You give them the random stock questions. You try to develop that rapport throughout it. But I mean, let's be honest, you're limited to half an hour and 45 minutes, you know, unless you want to do like a crazy lengthy podcast.
No,
So,
thank you.
Yeah.
And then it kind of depends.
Yeah, we actually, sometimes we head into work together. We work in the same building.
Sweet.
And so then we just throw on a podcast and we get to listen to it from beginning to end by the time we get there. So it's nice, you know, you get through a podcast and you feel, okay, I've already accomplished something and I've learned something. We feel there's a lot of value in there.
That's why they say the optimal length for a podcast is between 22 and 34 minutes, is because that's the average drive times. Is that window.
Yeah.
So if you keep it to that, I mean, like if you do a longer podcast, people might listen to 2 times speed. Like I listen to all podcasts at 2 times speed, which is that I talk at. Which is why I don't do podcasts. I just operate podcasts. Otherwise, I would have to really meter my speech. I'm going a million miles an hour, and it's not possible. So yeah, no, it's a ton of fun. You guys are 100% going to love it, and it opens up doors. Well, actually, it doesn't open up doors. It gets people to open up their doors to come to you.
Yes.
Which is a totally unique way of doing things, rather than advertising and marketing. Is just going, hey, I have this thing. You want to come here?
Yeah, I think it allows people to just feel your energy out, and then you know what I mean, and then like attracts like, and the more you do it, the more likable you are in that world, you know, in that sense of the word.
Yes.
And so because that's the thing, right? You want to attract investors. You're not really chasing them. You don't want to pressure anybody, but the more you put yourself out there, the more we present ourselves as a you know, our dynamic is, you know, we're a married couple who are business owners as well, and to bring that unique perspective into it, and hopefully it allows people to feel that our marriage strengthens our business partnership, and that it, you know, builds a little bit of reliability, excuse me, and a little bit of emotional connection, because, you know, that's where you're going to connect with your investors first. It's not going to be business right away. It's that relationship building at first, and so for us, that's our unique angle.
Talking about the path, you know, the path, because we don't know where they are on their path, but it's a path to somewhere. And so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the hard things and what it's going to take to get through.
Sure, yeah, makes sense, because I mean,
like the personal path, and then the path is in the math, which is the second part. Right? So you take that personal and you go, perfect, your personal is aligned with my personal. Awesome. How can we put the numbers to it?
Nice. I like that. I haven't heard that before. So thank you for sharing
I've heard it a couple of times. So this is one of those things. There's so many isms in podcasting that you're going to run into these, and they're going to just ingrain themselves into your speech, into the way you think, the way you act, the way you react with people. and it's a ridiculous ton of fun. Like, it's like having constant speech coaches, eloquent coaches, personality coaches, life coaches, all at the cost of, well, whatever you're paying to run your podcast.
Nice.
As opposed to some of these people that I've met charge, $30,000 for a call, a 1 hour call.
Yeah.
And they'll just come to your podcast and talk to you for an hour for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wrapping back into the podcast, how is this microphone? Because we do have one lapel and one that attaches to a cell phone that we could see if it could be double as a...
No, this is fine.
Yeah?
This is fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, we had one lady, so we record in Riverside. We have Riverside Enterprise. So the amount of AI tools that are in there and audio editing and video editing and everything else, that's totally fine.
Okay.
We had one lady, she had earbuds in with like the microphone on the wire.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And she was outside in Mexico, and the microphone was in her hair at the same time, and it was windy.
Oh, wow. And you guys were able to
Perfect.
edit all that
I
out?
put it in there. It sounds like she's in a studio.
Wow.
That's amazing.
All right.
That's
That's the difference between free 99 and paid 99. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like our whole system, like the entire podcast system. Well, for Wealth Genius, not for everybody else, but for Wealth Genius, it's only $6,300 for the whole year.
Wow.
For the whole year, unlimited storage, unlimited usage, unlimited everything.
All right.
No more Opus clips because you don't need it. You'll probably be able to develop on the Riverside side. You'll be able to develop anywhere between 6 and 20 good shorts, fully editable, same as Opus Clips. It runs the same as Opus Clips.
Okay.
And then on Podcast AI is the optimized ones, which you usually get for half an hour to 45-minute episode. You get about 20 to 30 clips, which are all SEO optimized. So, like, if you look at like vidIQ when you're talking about YouTube, it's going to be scoring between like a 98 and 100. Perfect score.
So at what point would you... What time is it? Do we have time to chat? Yeah, okay.
I got time. Unless you guys don't have time.
No. I just wanted to double check because now I'm diverting from being guest on the podcast and picking your brain a little bit. So at what point from novice to maybe intermediate would you recommend from someone to switch from Opus Clip to Riverside?
I would do it 100% right away.
Okay. As soon as you can afford it?
Opus Clip, the problem with Opus Clips is because so many people use it and they don't use it in the right way, it has a tendency to hallucinate, so the AI will hallucinate. And that's a real thing. AI will hallucinate. Like, if you ask AI the same question 20 times, it'll start to give you different answers and go way warbly.
Okay.
So if people are doing the same thing and it's the same talking points and it's processing through the same AI, you're getting really weird results. So if you actually check the scoring of it, it actually starts to really drop down. So I don't find their dollars to results to be worth it because you're paying by the minute. Where I'd rather say, like, I'm not happy with that. I can just regenerate infinitely.
Okay.
All the same dollar figure. Okay. Not that I'm looking for perfection, but I definitely want to get to that 90% plus.
Yeah.
Of I'm happy, that I can move on and I can do other things.
Okay. Interesting. I think we'll have to explore that once we get a few more under our belt. I mean, we've purchased a few credits from Opus Clip, and I hate wasting. So we'll, as we're still like really kind of filling it out, and as I'm still studying, my questions, my ability to be a good host, and at some point we will transition. And on that note, do you have any books or anything to recommend to someone who's trying to polish their interviewer skills?
So funny thing is, I don't have a book that specifically talks about that. I've written 2 books about podcasting.
Oh, sweet.
By written them, I mean I've taken the summation of all my efforts, put it into AI, edited it properly, and made it a book.
Amazing.
Love it.
But that's more about like hardware, setup, follow-up, that type of thing. And then it talks about monetization strategies and that type of jazz. As far as interviewing, I mean, honestly, ChatGPT does a great job. We give it to all our users where we've built an entire persona that does a deep dive into the actual person. So we actually give you a link to that, and you can put their information in, their LinkedIn, their socials, whatever, and it'll actually do a dive on them depending on what other people have asked them, and then identify the gaps.
Interesting.
Okay.
Where can we? Where can I find your books?
They're on my booking page. So actually, if you go to podcastlaunch.ai/book-Michael, and then that's also my booking page. That's my calendar on there. But my books are on there. Feel free to repurpose them, rename them, put your own name on them, do whatever you want with them. It's fine.
Wow.
Sell them. I don't care.
Do you have any questions?
Not at this time.
Do you have any questions for us?
Yes. So when you're talking about your business, because I didn't actually ask about your business yet, other than just you guys, what is your business? What is the whole scope?
Sure. So we are a real estate acquisition company, and we started our journey as passive investors, and took the time to learn about investing, and obtain various mentorships to acquire all the knowledge that we felt we needed, while submerging ourselves into the business, right, as in a passive way. And so now that we've acquired all the necessary knowledge that we feel prepares us to now switch from a passive side to an active side. So now we are currently negotiating 16-unit apartment building. We have a portfolio under negotiation, which is 44 units. We are in developments of raising capital for other people. So we're really at the beginning stages of our business. However, we've put a lot of that foundation work in there to make sure that we have everything that we need to prepare ourselves for that plunge into the active world. And so our business is really about, it's twofold. One, it's, acquisitions. And then the second part, something that we feel really passionate about too, is educating others and reaching out to people who are new to investing, maybe haven't done it yet before, or have done a little bit and are ready to, level up. And then give them the education they need. So when we started our business, we offered investing 101 packages, and would give out content and have conversations with them to teach them about how to invest, where you can pull money from, and teaching them that registered funds is a way to invest, and because a lot of people don't know about that, pulling money from your HELOC, and just educating them on that aspect. And so now that we have been doing that already for a little over a year, we feel that we're ready for the level up. So now we're looking for experienced investors, because now we're actually at the place where we're raising capital. And we're still always willing to educate, because that's kind of the heart of where we started. But at some point you have to elevate a little bit to get the money to raise capital.
Yeah. So we started with passive investing, and at one point when you're working, there's only so far you can go. You run out of money. So you're like, okay, what do we do next? And so we took this time to learn about the active side. And so that's where, and now while we're, in negotiations and all that stuff, we are doing this on the side, just, friends, family, and other folks who would be interested, because the information's not out there. It's just not up there. You're being told it by your bank that, come with us and we'll make you big money, or something. No way. And so we want to inform people that there is another way, and there's better rates out there. You just don't know about them.
No, and it's true. It's really unfortunate. And financial literacy in Canada is extremely low when it comes to that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything from insurance to infinite banking to how to work your real estate properly, where to get your rates from, who to talk to, and why.
Yeah,
exactly.
And even just starting off with money mindset. A lot of us have money blockers. Even for those who are investing, we still have money blockers. There's still things that we need to overcome all the time. So just focusing on a little bit of education on that side, both the money side and the mindset side. And another part of our business, which is part of our value, because our slogan is build wealth, pay it forward. And so, how do you give back to the community? And the beauty in making money and having multiple streams is that you can give back in a way that you couldn't before, in a monetary way. So you still want to get out there and contribute to your community volunteering, but it's also nice to back it up with being able to support them financially. And so the mindset around that, putting all those pieces together hopefully motivates an individual to look at their finances a little bit differently and to start asking questions, and hopefully to reach out to us. Our call to action is to, you know, have that discovery call, let's connect, as I like to call it, to really start exploring, and to see the different ways that they can certainly contribute to increasing their money streams, right? Life is getting more and more difficult, and people need to, not need to, but, you know, hopefully they have a desire to improve and take a little bit more control back.
Yeah, and I think it's twofold there. So the more that you know you have the means to help people, the more people you want to help, right? So then we're working harder on acquisitions and, you know, getting the most cash flow or return that we can get, because we get to give even more back.
Absolutely. And where do you guys decide to go your give back? Like, we decided to go a multitude of different ways. We're not like into one thing. Did you pick one thing, or did you do
No,
multiple?
we do a couple. So we have an idea of, you know, donating a certain part of our income, but there's lots of, like, so for example, it's Christmas time. We like to give out turkey dinners, like the turkey, the stuffing, the this and this and this. And what we usually do is a small little campaign on Facebook the day or two before Christmas Eve. And our reach out is, you know, nominate somebody who has fallen through the cracks, someone who is just struggling and who doesn't have any other means of support, who can really use a turkey dinner delivered to their door. And then so we just get people just commenting through that and just giving our recommendations. And the first time we did it, we started with one meal. But we loved it so much and just got so much out of it. The next day we were like, we have to do one more.
They deserve it. You know what I mean? And so, and people are nominating others, and you gotta love that. It's amazing. Everyone wants to help one another, and if they can help, then they want to, you know, pay it forward for them. So, hey, if we can help, then that's all great.
That's awesome. Yeah, we did a meal thing. Well, ours was a little bit different. We didn't do the turkey dinner. We did it's for schools, for a meal program.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
So it's I think so far it's at, we just started last month, and I think it's over 200 meals so far.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
But again, this is something you guys are gonna find. Like, I mean, we have a lot of podcasts we can reach through. But as your podcast grows, that level of reach and that level of give is gonna go up.
Yes.
And asking other people to actually pony up as well lets it actually like grow rather than just nominations. Because it's interesting that because we did a nomination once, and then we switched it from nomination. There was the same person that nominated somebody before that actually was donating. So they're like, I didn't know I could donate.
Yeah.
And so we said, you could donate towards this, and they donated towards it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did
Just
notice.
didn't want it coming from them to someone that they knew.
No, I love that, and it's all about adding that little extra detail in the post itself, because there were people who were like, I love this idea, I'm stealing it, and they did it themselves.
Yeah.
And you know, people will do that if they are already in that mindset. But if you just have that last little sentence in that post and to say, and if you can, you know, support and provide us with a third meal or contribute towards a third meal, then those who aren't thinking it are prompted for their mind to go there. Because I like that idea, because it's part of that teach back too, right? Because it's one thing to post that and people are like, oh, that's a nice idea, who's who I nominate, but to influence somebody to shift their mindset a little bit, there's the real win, right?
But also, the person that they just may not have the time, you know, to go out and do all that, or have the resources for it. So at the end of the day, so yes, here's some money, and please, you know,
Continue.
add my name to it, or yeah. So I love that.
You
Yeah.
never know where to start. Like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work doing this stuff, and it takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you know, like you said, some people just like to feel lost. They might want to do it, but they're like, where do I begin?
Yeah. And this is only the beginning, so right? So
That's
and
awesome.
we'll
That's
find
awesome.
other ways.
That's
Yeah. So it'll be cool.
That's
Excellent.
great. And then where do you guys do most of your work?
So, well, in our home. So we have 2 offices in our home, and so we're working from at home, and then we also work for the federal government. We both do. We're in Ottawa. So we go into work 3 days a week. And so we start early, we finish early, and then we take a small little break, and then we're, REI business.
Nice.
And,
that's good. That's good. That's
yeah.
extra. It's nice to have the steady.
Yep.
To do what most people would say is crazy.
Yeah.
Right. If they only, what is it? You don't know what you don't know until you realize you didn't know it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. Are you guys looking to expand into are you looking to expand more into Canada? Are you looking to push into the US? What type of markets are you looking to get into?
A little bit of both. Right now, all of our negotiations and capital raising is for Canada. However, we have been speaking with 2 other investors in the States, and building that bond and setting up a relationship to move into the US, mainly around pad splitting and like co-living. Opportunities. We had a little bit of a blind spot, if you will, towards the US. We thought, let's invest in Canada as new investors. Let's get ourselves familiar with this and and then we'll expand to the US. And I think in the last 6 months or so, we've shifted our mindset around that and thought, you got to follow the numbers.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as much as we want to be like, support Canada, pro Canada, work in Canada, live in Canada, love Canada, the numbers are the numbers.
The numbers are the numbers.
Yeah.
I guess if I make a ton of money in the United States, well, then I'll do more in Canada. But it's so easy down there, like how to search for things, the accessibility to it, just the market share in general is just ridiculous. Like, it feels like a lot of the American investors that I've dealt with, they just kind of like just casually make tons of money.
Yeah,
casually.
Whereas in Canada, it's like, you work really, really hard to make money.
Yeah. I just roll out of bed and money comes pouring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's it. I mean, like, you're both in passive and in active. Like, it's not active. It's not like active here.
Yeah.
What they do at active there, we'd almost consider passive.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Which
we've
is
built
great.
relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've concentrated. I think there's 2 good relationships that we have with folks from who are actually living in the U.S. or will be living in the U.S. soon. So, I think those things are important. Establishing relationships. It's like a marriage together, right? Because hey, you're dealing with money here. Money is one of the things that breaks up a relationship. So might as well be comfortable with all the conversations and make sure your values, you have shared values, because otherwise, divorces happen.
Yes.
Well, I mean, when it comes to, what is it, the 5 love languages, it was the 6th chapter that nobody wrote, which was called revenue.
Yeah.
That's my love language. It's right there. The rest is, like, it can go up or down. It's fine.
Yeah.
But if this is good in business, the rest should fall into play.
Yeah.
So, that sounds great. I love what you guys are doing. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to take a look into Steve's thing because I'm mobile right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll take a look into his thing. Is it okay if I just email you and go, okay, here's a couple of time slots?
Yep.
Sure.
And then you guys can pick it. And then do you want to do a back and forth podcast where, like, say half an hour or 20 minutes, half an hour, be the guest, and 20 minutes, half an hour be the host?
Wow. Yes, thank you. That's very generous.
It's a great little hack for podcasting to double up your time and double up the results.
Wow.
That's
I
great.
like that. I'm going to take
It
note of
also
that.
forces the other person, if they're a host or don't have a podcast, to get going with it, because a lot of times people just need a kick in the butt to say, like, start doing something.
Mm.
Yeah. And so I feel like you're also a coach. No?
Well, I mean, I am for people who are part of our ecosystem. Like, I coach them on how to speak, kind of, sort of. I mean, that's why we're talking to Majid about maybe doing some partnership with him where, I can start doing some coaching on speaking. This is why I don't do it, see?
Yeah. You speak good. Don't worry
about
it.
Like, strategies. So we started off in business consulting. So it's mostly about how to strategize. I read a ton. So I try to keep up to date on the algorithms for every different social media out there. New social media is coming out. And monetization strategies for those, as well as positioning, timing, how to frame it, what to tag it.
Wonderful.
All that type of stuff.
We are, with Wealth Genius, we have 3 streams. So we started off with multifamily, and then we got into the Make Money speaking with Majid. And then we have a fast track right now with Adriana on raising capital.
Nice.
So I think, speaking with you and just hearing a little bit about your insight and your experience is certainly valuable for us.
It all ties in.
Where-
That's
yeah,
why we got
it's-
all to, right? We want to grow and fast. And so we found the group that really allows us to do that. And, we feel good and we feel things are easy at Wealth Genius.
Yes.
And we've been really into the community because, man, they're just amazing. Why wouldn't you want to be there, right? So we find that's easy.
It's a lot of hype, and it's one thing I always get worried about. I'm not saying it's a bad thing because I have no idea, because the people I've met are so great. I don't believe it's true, but sometimes with some of these places that I've joined and I've been a part of, there's a lot of hype. Like say like BNI, you get in a really amazing BNI. There's a lot of hype and nothing happening.
Where are you
But
located?
So far, I haven't seen that to be the case here. Sorry,
Where are you located?
I'm in Toronto, Canada.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I have an open invitation to probably, I think it's almost 40 BNIs right now.
Okay.
So I can just go in whenever I want, come and go, no payments, no nothing.
wow,
So even like Ivan Meisner, I've talked to him 2 or 3 times now.
very cool.
The guy. So, but the only reason is because of podcasting.
Okay.
It's because I give people platforms to help them create one,
Yes.
right? Or blow it up. Like if somebody's actually ready to go, like, hey, you know what? I'm ready to invest in this. I'm ready to grow it. I'm ready to blow it up. I'm ready to create those new connections. Like I took my contact list in 1 year, went from 7,000 people to almost 100,000 people. Actually, just
Wow.
over
Good for you.
100,000
It's amazing.
in 11 months.
It's a lot of
Wow.
work.
So we have to keep in contact,
Yeah.
Michael.
What did you do before, or have you done this for a long time?
No, I owned a HVAC business for 22 years.
Cool.
Very cool.
So I just ditched it. It wasn't matching my why anymore. Didn't sell it, didn't anything. Just walked away, and because I didn't want to build things anymore. I wanted to build businesses because sorry to say it, I know you work for the federal government, but there's a lot of public sector growth. There's a little bit of corporate growth and a huge downturn of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And that's where the jobs come from. That's where the economic stimuli comes from. All that type of stuff. Innovation, like the Industrial Revolution, happened because of entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
100%.
So if we can reignite that fire and bring money back to the communities instead of watching it flutter away.
Yeah.
That's more my why.
Absolutely. That's
But to
fantastic.
create a community that's 3,000 to 5,000 people that all have a podcast, all have social media, are all great in sales, all do their own thing. You could change the world if everybody works together.
I 100% agree with that.
I love that.
Yeah.
So the government doesn't have 3,000 people that all work together.
Nope.
No, it's all siloed and red tape. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, they've hired, I've been with them for almost 25 years now.
Wow.
So lately I've been talking to Melissa about potentially leaving. Before you're 50, you can take a pension takeout, a transfer value. And so I have been looking at that. So we'll see what the time
Business will take us there. For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one of our users did that two years ago. She left. She worked for the federal government in the United States, and she's like, you know what? If I take my partial payout, the amount of time, if I were to invest that with what I'm making doing on the side, if I were to invest the same amount of time at work and doing that, it's 5 times more money.
Yes,
No,
we know
that's
what.
why.
That's the thing. We know what to do with it,
Yeah.
and even if you're losing X amount of dollars because of taxes or half of it's stuck into a lira, we know what to do with that lira.
Infinite banking.
You know, we know what to do and how to regain the $70,000 that is deducted because of taxes. We can regain that quite easily, and then some, right? So. I think also puts us in a position like, if we have a government and conservatives go in, probably have a likely, cut the government. And as 2 people who work for the government, we feel like if we both get laid off at the same time, easy peasy, thank
got
you.
nothing.
We know exactly what to do, and now we can focus all of our time on this. Like, imagine what we can do then. So
We're just building we're building the layers. We already have 3 policies. We're getting another one ready for the money that's eventually going to come
for infinite banking.
for infinite banking. Yes. So
Infinite banking.
So
Infinite
just-
banking using real estate or infinite banking using insurance or a combination.
life insurance for now. Yes.
Okay.
But
Nice.
yes, with the business next.
Nice. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. That's
Yeah.
fun creating that. I mean, it's so much easier in the States, unfortunately, but in Canada, we could still skirt by, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not quite as intriguing as the States.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is why I would look forward to creating that there, which is what I'm looking to do, which is hard to do if you're Canadian to create in the United States.
Yeah, I've heard that, and I've heard it's not possible, but the thing is, I think if you dig a little bit more and you have
He's known people who
oh yeah, well, I think if you have a business over there, it may be possible.
A certain amount of operations, a certain amount of capital.
That's right.
Like there's all these stringent things, but then they're bending the rules a little bit.
Okay.
Especially with the insurance companies have a little bit more fear in the States for some reason.
Yeah.
So they're bending the rules a little bit more on how to make that happen. So, because it was the insurance companies who were holding it up from Canadians doing that. And I don't know if that was a governmental deal with the insurance companies or not for the taxation purposes.
Yeah.
Because if you do it in the States, there is none. There's no tax. Zero. So I'm like, yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
I choose that option.
I want to pay zero.
Yeah.
I want to electively choose where my money goes. 100%. And I will give way more.
Yeah.
Right?
Right? If I save 50% of my income, imagine how much more I could give.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah, no, that's super fun. Actually, I was talking to an insurance guy the other day. I met him driving an Uber.
Oh yeah?
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, he runs an insurance brokerage.
Cool.
And he wants to start getting into this. So I was like, oh, perfect. So I gave the contacts from Expand to him. And I was like, yeah, go chase it down. And yeah, he's like, because he didn't do that yet. And he's like, I don't really know what that means.
Mm.
But he had a broker. He was just driving an Uber. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. He has like 10 agents.
Wow.
So you never know who you're talking to.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone
true.
has a life story, right?
Yeah.
So.
I was talking to him. He's like, he's walking around his house, beautiful, gorgeous home. So I'm like, yeah, that's my driver the other day. All right, cool.
Wow.
Interesting.
Love it.
He just gets bored. He's bored.
Yeah, he needs to be moving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that sounds exciting, guys. I
Yeah.
cannot wait to have you guys on the podcast. I will send you a list of available dates and times.
Thank you.
And you can pick whichever one's good, and we'll get you in there, get you in Riverside, then you can see what that looks like and feels like.
Yeah.
Where are you guys recording now?
In our home.
No, you record in person.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just the two of you.
It's just the two. Well, and then we have guests, but so it's usually just a Zoom recording,
Okay.
and then I slap it on YouTube, and then from there I'm able to edit it.
Yeah, we did our first one on, it's on our YouTube channel. Essentially, it's both me and Mel. I'm in the room, Mel's outside the room, and we're just having a conversation in Greece about, our business and actually about our story, about how we met. So, yeah.
That would be an interesting podcast. Would actually be if you have a wide angle on your phone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is your drive to work in the morning?
Oh,
yeah.
good one.
Right, just morning coffee.
Yeah.
Morning coffee.
Morning
and you live
drive.
stream it.
Yeah. You can see how that
Just
comes
live
out.
stream it.
Live stream.
Like all these little activities as you're going, it's so easy to throw out there.
Yeah. Look at that guy. Did you see what? We're live here.
Come on, let's go. Man,
Yeah.
Well, because it's real.
Yeah.
Right? It's real.
And it's relatable.
And it fills out your lives, right? So lives are a big thing on social media. Is once you're able to go live on, depending on what social media you're on.
Yeah.
Once you're able to do that, I mean, there's a huge value in there.
Yeah, I love
Right?
the
Because
idea.
that actually earns points in the algorithm system.
Oh, cool.
Just doing lives.
Good to know.
Same with a lot of the social medias is if you're engaging with it, don't like and swipe before it's done. If you're going to like it, watch it till the end.
Okay.
And always go from bottom up. But if you're only going to like it and do nothing else, make sure you watch till the end. Otherwise, like and swipe is a net negative.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't
It's
know.
just like, I'm just trying to get attention. Yeah.
That's funny.
Very cool.
Okay.
Well, I've learned so much from you, Michael. I really appreciate your time and your wise words, your shared experience, and
Did we get the title of your book or maybe in the link
I've got
that
the
you're... Okay, perfect.
It's literally right on my booking page.
Okay.
It's right on my booking page. Take it, download it, repurpose it, make it your own, call it whatever
We'll share
you
it.
want. It's totally fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool.
It doesn't have to have my name on it. Put your name on it. Do whatever you want. Read it, and if you like it, use it as a lead magnet. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It's not biased towards us as Podcast Launch at all. I don't think. I mean, the monetization one might be a little bit more, but the other one isn't. The other one's more arbitrary.
Okay. Well,
Very cool.
let us know if there's anything we can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways.
I build podcasts. I work in CRM. I do digital marketing and media.
You're living the life.
Yeah, from HVAC to this
Yeah.
is honestly, well, because I mean, in HVAC it was easy. Like I had a close rate over 22 years of 97%.
Wow.
So for me, like marketing is, I don't know, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
As long as you believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you guys sound
If you can sell it,
you know what you're doing.
it's a good
You're
product.
not too pitchy.
It's super easy.
Yeah,
Great.
true.
Well, you have a party coming over, or you have
Yeah.
guests coming in,
I
or have
do.
a...
I'm gonna hang out with this little monster.
Ooh, let me see. Aww. And who is that?
That's not the sympathy boat.
Okay. What's his name or her name?
Ned.
Ned. Oh,
Ned. When somebody dropped him off, I guess he said Oakley Dokley, so like, oh, call him
Oakley Doakley, I love that.
here's our little monster.
Ned.
18, going on 19 in April,
Holy.
right?
That cat doesn't look like she's starving.
Yeah, no, she doesn't.
She's got a thyroid
She's an
issue.
she's an indoor cat.
Oh, yeah.
She's an indoor cat, and she's always been in an apartment downtown, so small all her life until I got married and moved to the
She's
suburbs.
happy. Look at
Yeah.
that. She's
She
so
lived a good
happy.
life.
So white.
She's living.
So white.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
My cats.
Michael, it was such a pleasure. I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to getting your email, booking, and getting to know you more.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you have my booking calendar. You can book me anytime. If it's
Lovely.
open, book it. I have people who book me once a month just to exchange names and numbers and hey, what's going on.
I love
That's
it.
amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. Have a great
Bye.
day. Bye.
Hey, ciao.
Wow. What a
He's
contact.
so lovely, eh?
And if you want, I'm going to change my jacket because I wore this on someone else's podcast.
Yeah.
I think we should try to keep the recording going and maybe do a little bit of this, practice it out. Like a podcast recording.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right now?
Yep.
Okay. So you want to change your jacket?
I'm just going to change my jacket. Yeah.